And the last report under the principal's report is our technology report. We typically report out to the board twice a year. So joining us is Bridget Wilmot, Instructional Technology Coordinator, Mike Connors, Technology Director, and Kylie Lindquist, Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Instruction.
You can go, just push the chair up, Mike.
I'm just here to introduce these fine people who make all of the technology that happens here happen, and it wouldn't be possible without both of them. So I'm just going to sit here and look nice while they steal the show.
Good evening. I'm going to give the first part of the report, and then I'll hand it off to Bridget. If you look at the first part of the report, you'll see this upcoming summer our plans to upgrade our broadband and also to upgrade our firewall. This is because the final year, this year, after the beginning of this year, the entire school will have Chromebooks. So we'll be getting additional 400 devices put onto our network. We'll be doing the upgrades in order to handle that. And also we have to upgrade the firewall because of the broadband upgrade. The next section is the finance and funding. As you can see, the first section is the one-to-one revenue. I know that there was a question from one of the board members about we had a surplus this year of $4,491. The reason for the surplus was that we had this year's freshman class was a little larger than normal. Also, the outstanding fees were more of them were collected, and so that's why we have a surplus there. If you look at the expenditures, we have a surplus there too. That's due to some of the repairs coming in a little lower than expected, and paid services, equipment, and some of the supplies, some of the prices just, we got better deals than when we first made the budget. Is there any questions about that section?
And any surplus or deficit that's collected goes into the general ledger then, right, Scott? So, I mean, it's used for budgeting purposes next year.
Yep.
Yep. I think it's good to clarify that.
Okay. Bridget?
We don't have a formal presentation. Instead, we have a playful look at technology at RB. So it's a little bit longer. It's about 9 minutes. So
welcome to the special edition.
Let's do it. I have nothing formal afterwards, but if you have any questions, obviously I'm more than happy to answer them.
Well, why don't we click, Mayor, click the square in the, keep going, right corner of that box, right there. Okay.
Of the Bulldog Report. I'm Maggie Leiteritz of Student Services. In today's episode, we'll be watching 3 vignettes about how technology is used at RBHS. Up first, with a year in review, our 2 English teachers, Tom Dignan and Wendy Cassins.
Hi, I'm Tom Dignan.
And I'm Wendy Cassins.
We're here to take a look back at some of the highlights that helped shape an extraordinary year of tech and learning at RB.
Faculty members participated in teacher-led workshops, from designing memes for classroom content and management to connecting with educators in classrooms through #Twitter.
Also, they used embedded department tech time for a variety of collaborative purposes, including investigating how to research with Evernote, improve SAT performance with Khan Academy, design rubrics in Schoology for standards-based assessment, and enhance instruction with online textbook components.
There were opportunities to improve knowledge about tech integration, including day-long workshops like creating your one-to-one classroom, new teacher orientations and mentoring programs, paraprofessional training, and conferences including the Illinois Computing Educators Conference and the International Society of Technology in Education Conference.
To remain on the cutting edge of tech integration, staff members participated in a variety of pilots, including Go Guardian Teacher, the Schoology Gradebook, and touchscreen Chromebooks.
At the May faculty meeting, teachers participated in a tech fair where staff members presented about the multiple tech tools they incorporated into their curriculum, including Edpuzzle for flipped classrooms, Issue for digital content creation, Peer Grade for peer learning, and TED Ed, that's not a person, for digital lessons worth sharing.
You're just full of information, Wendy. Staff members' hard work this year was recognized when RB, you know what we were named a Google for Education reference district, which is a district that demonstrates excellence and thought leadership through the innovative use of technology.
Sounds like quite a year. It deserves 10 out of 10 apples or touchscreen Chromebooks or something like that.
Thank you for joining us.
Moving on. As we all know, achievements like this reflect the hard work of many different people. To spotlight some of these individuals, fine arts teacher Blair Jensen, who also moonlights as special investigator, shares his work from the field.
This is going to be a tough case. We're going to need our best agent, the best of the best.
So, Ms. Zimmerman, without getting too serious into the elements of design, principles of art, and without being too artsy-fartsy, could you tell me how has technology given your students independence in your classroom?
Technology gives them freedom and independence by allowing them to research right on the spot in the studio and looking at Google and Pinterest and Schoology. Kids can organize their visual ideas, and then I can also give them feedback at any time in project ideas over email or over Schoology.
Do you mind if I record these answers?
No.
How do you use digital portfolios to give immediate formative assessments in the class?
I can grade from photos in a digital portfolio that I put on Schoology, and students can access their grades on the rubrics on there as well, which immediately calculates it and gives them feedback, so they can have their stuff back right away and they know what they should improve on instantaneously.
Okay, well, I have one more question. How has technology strengthened your curriculum?
Now I teach from all the links that I've previously loaded on there and all the documents, and just get to improve it every semester. And then I even had students added to courses that they weren't actually in, just to learn new mediums and further their practice. And lastly, it helps with collaborating with other teachers if everything's ready to go.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah.
So everything going well? Do you need anything else? Everything's cool? Good. So, Mr. McGovern, bruh. You mind if I call you bruh? Okay. What part of Schoology is so effective between the teacher and the student?
One of my favorite tools in Schoology to use is the Mastery Tracker. What it allows me to do is assign certain skills to each of my assessments that allows me to track their growth through each quarter, semester, and year.
Ah, cool. Great answer, McGovern. Hey, do you mind if I take notes on my notebook? I'm pretty tech savvy myself, so don't beat around the bush if you don't mind. I got another question for you. Where do you think the one-to-one initiative will take us in the future?
It's McGovern. And where I think the one-to-one environment is really going to help our students is it allows them access to countless amount of resources, from looking up a definition of a word to accessing and researching more complex skills.
Dude, you're starting to sound like you know what you're talking about. I like it. So what advice do you have for new teachers, old teachers that are in the building?
I think what teachers really need to do is not overwhelm themselves or their students. Maybe just pick one tool to use to implement this year and another tool to implement next year. That way, as the years progress, you become more comfortable with the technology in your classroom.
Cool, very cool. Cool. Awesome.
The front on this one's pretty heavy. Do you need me to stay or do you need me to go?
Go. I don't need you. So, Ms. Sterling, I have some questions about your tools you've been using in your classroom. What's this thing about Padlet? What is that all about?
First of all, it's called Padlet, and we use it for our questions in class so that the kids have access to them on the computer whenever they want, instead of it being on little pieces of paper in front of the classroom that they can't read.
Ms. Sterling, also, You don't need to be grumpy on me, but I do want to know about this Schoology rubrics you've been using in your classroom. Could you tell me about that?
Again, it's Schoology, not Schoology, and they use the rubrics to keep track of their graded assignments on a real-time basis as it's entered in the computer, so parents can see exactly what grades they have in the class as I'm entering them in.
Okay, Ms. Sterling, without getting too aggressive, and don't make me go get a Type 75, just tell me about this Khan Academy that you have the kids, I don't know, doing stuff with.
Well, we use Khan Academy every day so they can do skills-based homework and have better access to practice that is individualized for each student.
Our teachers certainly are finding innovative ways to promote 21st century learning, which keeps the students from dozing off. Wait. I've just gotten word that we've been given special permission to share a sneak preview of what's next with Tech at RB. Delightful. Oh, hi. Thanks for that preview. Sounds like our district has built a strong foundation for some exciting adventures ahead. Thanks to all who helped produce this special edition.
So Bridget, as we enter into our last year, everybody's on board, so obviously teachers are using, maybe we can pause it. As we enter into the last year, is there anything that you need from the board or that the board should be aware of? Or, I mean, it's starting to become, would you say, part of our day-to-day operation here?
Sure, I definitely think it's starting to become part of the fabric of RB. I think it's becoming as much of a material as a textbook would be for class. I think the biggest thing is just the continued support of embedded professional development for teachers to continue growing and finding authentic ways to incorporate the tech.
Okay. And Mike, you're taking care of the infrastructure?
Yes.
And I know Kylie, you and Kristen and Bridget put a lot of time in this year, so the PD that was occurring, was that once a month we were doing a tech piece within our PLCs, or how did that work again? So the board's aware of that, because as you talk about PD, they'll think about stuff over the summer or workshops.
Mm-hmm.
But we also did a lot of staff on staff, like staff training staff, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So we give up one faculty meeting per quarter that we dedicate to tech PD. So that's where Bridget comes in, and she and I look at what she thinks are the needs that our teachers have based on her collaboration with teachers and based on instructional coaches, and then Bridget designs the professional development experience for that month, that quarter. The one that we had most recently was kind of a showcase where teachers, kind of in a science fair type situation, where teachers got to go around to different staff members and talk about what's been working in their classrooms and ask questions and see things at work. But the PD and the embedded time for PD has been critical to the success of the one-to-one initiative, I think, and Bridget has really done a nice job of working with teachers to not just replace and have the Chromebook as something extra in the classroom, that we look at papers on the Chromebook and we look at text on the Chromebook instead of in our textbook, and really helping teachers take their use of technology to the next level, and that's all credited to Bridget. I had a staff member tell me, a staff member that I would consider to be pretty tech savvy and someone who uses technology and would have used it if we didn't have Bridget in her capacity. And he said to me, I wouldn't do half the things I do with technology if I didn't have the confidence that Bridget is there to help me figure out, what does this tool look like? How can I use it in my classroom? Sometimes use it with her own students, now that she's teaching one English section in addition to her roles as the tech coordinator. So she's an invaluable resource to our staff, and we've really been able to see staff members who would have adopted and who wouldn't have come to a whole new place and surprise themselves even because of the work that Bridget's been able to do with them. So it's really been, the PD that Bridget has structured has really been powerful and impactful for our staff.
And in addition to those 4 times of the year, Bridget also holds lunch and learns or opportunities when we're piloting something for staff members to drop in during their prep periods to learn about it, as well as institute days. So a large portion of what Bridget does is hold large sessions like that, as well as like individually conferencing with teachers to help tailor whatever they're doing in their classrooms specific to what their needs are. And then she's willing to push into their classrooms to make sure it's a success. She really provides wraparound support to staff members as they incorporate technology into their classroom.
And then in addition to that, we also hold day-long workshops focused on different groups. So day-long workshops for teachers who are brand new to one-to-one, as well as day-long workshops for teachers who are brand new to RB. So lots of opportunities, and I'm looking next year to have day-long workshops for veteran teachers who need just a little bit more help figuring out how to incorporate tech in the classroom, because they already have successful lessons. So they don't always know exactly how tech is going to supplement those successful lessons.
What did we decide? We were piloting the touchscreens, the freshmen getting touchscreens, or are we still sticking with the?
The tablets were piloted by the teachers.
Okay.
So,
and are we starting to implement those for teachers, or they didn't come out? That didn't come out, or?
we just were asked a survey to kind of get a scope on how they're being used and stuff like that, and we're just not sure exactly if it's the right move to go to tablets. The Chrome operating system really isn't calibrated to be a tablet, unlike an iPad. So we're kind of still waiting that out to see if that's something to do in the future.
So we'll go with a similar model like the board has in front of them tonight.
Yeah, that's what these students will be getting.
We're not having any issues with the insurance on our tech repairs and kids that are having issues?
No, they've
that's
been fine.
Working well?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions from the board?
Bridget, how often do you give Bright Bites?
Yes.
How often?
Oh,
One?
Yep, once a year.
Once or twice? Once.
Yep, we did the survey in May, and we're going to go into detail at it at the December meeting. But exciting news is I still need to dive deeper into the data, but our overall score increased by 13 points, which pushed us out of the proficient category into the advanced category, which is very exciting. There's 5 categories: exemplary, advanced, proficient, etc. And that's amazing considering that everyone took the survey, including our seniors who are not one-to-one. So to be in the advanced category with having one whole class, not even one-to-one, our teachers and staff members are doing some pretty stellar things here.
That is amazing.
It's really exciting. So we'll be doing a deeper dive into it in December though, but that's a sneak peek for you.
Okay, great. Well, with the turnover rate here so low, you don't need to give it, I don't think, more than once a year.
Yeah.
Like we give it twice a year because we have such a high turnover rate. We want to see the growth. We give it in September and then again in May, but once a year.
Yeah, and now that we've given it 3 years, we actually can truly look at trends.
Right.
And our trend is decidedly upward. There's 4 main domains and then the overall score. And in all 4 domains, it's up. I mean, I should have done an average, but we're looking probably an average of 12 to 13-ish points increase in every single domain, which is really exciting.
Any other questions? No?
Great job,
No,
Bridget.
thank you.
Keep up the good work. Kylie, thank you. Michael, thank you. Mr. Manning, you stuck around?
My teammate.
That's very nice. Did she stick around the last time you had to present? I don't remember.
Remember I had to call him out the last
Oh, that's right. You left early. That's right. Okay.
You won't do that again.
Lesson learned.
It's an opportunity for visitor statements. Seeing no visitors in the audience, we will move on to chance for Board of Education to add any additional discussion items. Looking to my left.